and shipping across Canada. So if you are not from the lower mainland of British Columbia and you are hanging out here with us tonight, you can still pre-order Adventures in the Forgotten Realm products and anything you want, basically, not Crokinole, please, but just about anything else you can order to be shipped from our website to anywhere in Canada. So yeah, welcome Yar Morgan, pirate among us. We have a loyalty program at Rain City Games, and in our loyalty program you can earn points with all of your purchases, and you can cash in those points for discounts on later purchases, but we just recently added a bunch of new rewards to our loyalty program. So if you do go online and pre-order something tonight from Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, or you really need a Crokinole board, please select in-store pickup for that, but please also register for our loyalty program while you're there, so that you can earn great points and get great rewards, like Rain City Games playmat like mine, or you can now get Magic booster packs from Standard Rotation. You can now get 1,000-piece puzzles, as well as D&D miniatures, and just straight-up discounts on your purchases. So very exciting. And yes, yes, no spoilers, but we are doing some contests tonight, and we are going to be giving away some of our new loyalty goodies that arrived in the store today. Since Adventures in the Forgotten Realms is a Dungeons & Dragons themed set. Oh, I'm so excited. We've adjusted the pricing to reflect that a little bit. So why don't I tell you about the contests that we have going on? And let me start with something new that I'm going to try tonight. So tonight, if you place a pre-order with us through our website, which is www.raincity.games. So if you go to our website and pre-order a set booster box or a collector booster pack or a pre-release kit, anything related to Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, your pre-order will come with some swag, some loot. Since everyone knows the best part of Dungeons & Dragons is getting rewarded for your quests, with treasure, tonight I offer you the quest of pre-ordering an Adventures in the Forgotten Realms item. If you do that, please put in the section of checkout asking for notes to the vendor, please use the phrase power word buy. And if you type that into the notes of your pre-order, we will give you some treasure from our hoard. So I spent some time this past weekend putting together full sets of foil-etched basic lands from Modern Horizons 2, or packs of like a little warrior tribal starter kit, or a sliver starter kit. So yes, if you would like to snag some of that swag, use power word buy, not in the discount code section. Not a discount code. Use it in the notes to vendor. Yeah, thank you, Rain City Games, for typing it out for us. So yeah, that's what you need to do if you pre-order something tonight, or so that has to be during the stream, or in the first half hour after the stream has ended. So I'll take a look at the time when the stream stops, and then half an hour after that, we'll stop accepting that promo code or that message in the notes section. If you were really eager and you've already pre-ordered something with us online, I would still like to give you loot. So what you can do is find in your email our confirmation, our order confirmation that we've sent you. You can reply to that with the same phrase and with your full name, so that we can confirm that you have placed a pre-order for Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, and you too will receive some treasure. So, yes, notes section at checkout, not the discount code bar. All right, so we are running 3 contests as usual tonight. So the first contest that we're going to be running is called Top of the Multi-Class. Yeah, I guess it might say comments. Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Timo, for clarifying that. So yes, the first contest is top of the multi-class. So for this contest, we will be keeping track of class representation. As you probably know, if you've been watching spoilers, there's a new type of enchantment called class in this set. So I'll be watching for those. There's 12 different ones that represent the classes in Dungeons & Dragons. And I might also be sorting some creature cards. I should probably make a call on that. You know what? I haven't seen a lot of, in the box openings that I've watched, I haven't seen a ton of, consistently of class cards. So I'm going to say I'll put creatures that have the title or the character or the creature type line that match a class. So at the top or at the end of the box, we'll count out the 2 with the most representation in the box. So I want you to guess 2 classes that you think we will see the most of in this set. So what's your favorite multi-class? Maybe you're a wizard cleric. And you think we're going to see a lot of wizards and clerics. Put that in the chat. So pick 2. Enter 2 classes into the chat. And that contest is going to end 6 packs in. So you get to see the first 6 packs and see where we're at. And then we'll do a last call for those guesses and continue with the box. And the winner of top of the multi-class will win the Buy a Box promo for the box that we're opening tonight, which is this beauty. Can't have a Dungeons & Dragons set without a Vorpal sword. So yes, the winner of top of the multi-class will win the Buy a Box promo Vorpal sword that goes with this set booster box. You'll win 50 loyalty points in our loyalty program. You'll receive 1 Adventures in the Forgotten Realms set booster pack, 1 Rain City Games metal D20, which is an oversized D20. They look so good. Tried really hard to get a picture of them for you, but I couldn't do it fast enough before the stream started. But if you come back on Tuesday, I'll have a picture of it for you then. Or you can just be very surprised when you receive it. And you'll also get 1 foil promo pack. So that's for the first contest, top of the multi-class. The next contest we're calling Mythic Encounter. So, Mythic Encounter has, basically I want you to guess a mythic from the set that you think I will open first. So, as we're opening, whatever mythic I pull first, if someone has guessed that mythic, they will win the prize for Mythic Encounter. If nobody guessed the first mythic I pulled, then I'll put it aside, and the next mythic I pull, we'll check again until we've found someone who won. If we have 2 people who choose the same mythic, if 2 people say Tiamat and I pull a Tiamat first, then we'll draw between the 2 of you. And if nobody guesses a mythic that I pull by the end of the box, then that will be very sad, but we'll still do a draw. And the winner of Mythic Encounter, and there are 20 mythics in this set, so I think slightly more than our last box opening. So for Mythic Encounter, you will win 25 loyalty points, 1 Adventures in the Forgotten Realms set booster, and 1 mini RPG dice set from our friends at Adventure Dice. So you're going to win this set of gelatinous ooze dice, which I thought were pretty on flavor for D&D and pretty on flavor for this set as well. The commander decks for this set, which we're not opening tonight, obviously, but the commander sets apparently use a full polyhedral set, some of them. So we're seeing a lot of like roll a d20 on a lot of the cards in, if you've been playing Limited on Arena, or, in the cards that are coming in packs, there's lots of roll a d20, but apparently in the commander decks, you're going to get to use a whole set of polyhedrals. So even if you don't play D&D, these will be super handy for you. And you'll also win a promo pack from the set. And that one is going to end, before I open the first pack, just in case the first pack has a mythic in it. Wouldn't that be cool? And then the last contest for the night is the ampersand. So we can't have a Dungeons and Dragons contest without trying to find out how many dungeons and how many dragons we get. So for the ampersand in D&D, we would like you to guess how many combined Dungeons and Dragons we will pull. So if you don't know this, dungeons are a new mechanic in this set. They are filling the token slot. So sometimes a token will have on one side, like, you know, your 1/1 goblin, and then you flip it over and you'll see one of 3 dungeons, which are a new exciting mechanic in the set. I'll talk about it in a couple minutes. But I'm going to be counting up. It's not on every token, so it won't be in every pack necessarily. Could be, but it doesn't have to be. And we also have a cycle of mythic dragons and a cycle of uncommon dragons, and we also have some dragonborn creatures. So I'm going to combine all of the dungeons and dragons. And there are 30 packs in the box, Timo. 30 packs in a set booster box. So get those guesses in now if you have them or think about them. The ampersand is going to end halfway through, so we'll do. I'll do my best to give you a reasonable estimate of what we're at in terms of Dungeons and Dragons for the ampersand. And yeah, that's the contest. That person will win 25 loyalty points, 1 Adventures in the Forgotten Realms set booster, 1 foil promo pack, and 1 regular promo pack. So that's the contests. And don't forget about pre-ordering using the note power word buy. All right, so let me get the box so we can take a little peek at this, and I'll turn my... There we go. All right, so we've got our beautiful set booster box here for Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. There are 30 packs in here, and we're going to see a lot of cool new stuff as Wizards has been doing... oh man, how many sets has this been happening for now? I think since Throne of Eldraine, but maybe they did it one before Throne of Eldraine. I want to say Throne of Eldraine is when they started doing like alternate border showcase cards. So we are going to see some new showcase cards. We are going to see a couple different art styles that are new. The first is a rulebook art. So the rulebook art are cards that look kind of, I should have maybe pulled one up for you, but you've probably seen them if you've been watching spoilers, and maybe we'll see one in the box. It's like the original D&D monster manual art. So, you know, a nice like beige parchment background and sort of like monochromatic drawings of these monsters or whatever. I think most of them are creatures. So those are kind of neat, and I've heard mixed reviews about whether people like them or not, but whatever. And then module art. What is the module art again? What did I write it down and not give myself a note? Yeah, so we're going to see a few, I'll know it when I see it. We're going to see a couple new sort of art styles for the set. Oh, I remember. It's the lands. So they're doing like, you might get an Evolving Wilds that looks like the cover of an old D&D module, which have been reprinted recently for 5e. We have some of them in the store right now, if this gets you feeling nostalgic for some old school D&D adventures. Yeah, we're also going to see, we're also going to see alt art borderless cards, which in this set are only for the planeswalkers and the dragons in the set. So, oh yeah, so Mondo Fishy, I wasn't talking about set boosters, I was talking about like showcase art. So yeah, set boosters, you're right, didn't start until Zendikar Rising. But showcase cards started, I think, with Throne of Eldraine, where they did the storybook art, which were really gorgeous in that set. So I don't think the rulebook art is as beautiful as that, but I think the module art looks pretty cute. And the alt art borderless cards, so those are the ones we're going to see. Planeswalkers and dragons only in those frames, and they can be found in any booster now. So you can get borderless alt art cards in your draft booster packs as well. So if you're getting like a pre-release kit or a draft booster box, you can still get those cool printings, which is exciting. And for some of the cards there are extended art printing versions of those. We are not going to see them tonight, but we will see them next Wednesday, I hope, when we open our collector booster box. So if you want to see that extended art, tune in next Wednesday evening, same place. We're going to see some new planeswalkers. There's a new green planeswalker, Eliwick Tumblestrum, who has not existed in Magic or in D&D before, but maybe we'll see her in the upcoming Feywild resource coming out with D&D. But yeah, who knows? But she's neat. We're also going to see the Grandmaster of Flowers, Sneaky Bahamut, and Lolth, who's one of my favorite goddesses in D&D. We'll just see what comes out when we open up the box, but I'm excited about those things. And class cards, everyone at the store is pretty excited to see those, as well as the basic lands now have flavor text on them. And basic lands, I don't know if we're going to see those in draft boosters. We haven't for the last couple sets, but we will see them tonight in our set boosters. They've added flavor words. So like usually we see flavor text in quotes at the bottom of a card, but now we're going to see them attached to the rules, which is something I love about Magic. I love when the rules and the flavor of a card line up beautifully, and we're going to see a lot of that good stuff tonight. We're going to be rolling D20s to use some of these new cards. There's a new mechanic called Pack Tactics, which is big in Gruul in this set. Which I believe triggers when you attack with 6 or more power among attacking creatures, as well as phasing is making a comeback, which I think most Magic players were feeling like that was going away, but seems to be coming back in this set. So, all right. Shall we crack? You know what? I keep scissors now at my desk to get this plastic off, because it's pretty tough business sometimes. So I think most of the people, at least most of the people chatting, I've seen before. I recognize your usernames, and I'm happy to have you back. But for anyone who's new to set boosters or to the stream, we're opening 30 packs of 12 cards. Set boosters were designed to optimize the fun of the pack cracking experience. So we are going to have some fun tonight, I guess. We have more rare and mythic slots. I think in a set booster you can have a maximum of 4 rares or mythics in the pack, and that's including the token slot, because in a set booster, the token slot can be filled by a card from the list. The list is cards from Magic's history that have been reprinted. The first round of them, something like I don't know, was it like 1,000 cards or 1,600 cards or something, were reprinted in mystery boosters. So we're hopefully going to see a few cards from the list. Yeah, 1,600. Thanks, Mondo Fishy. I was right. So yeah, 1,600 reprints, but each set now they've been adding more cards to the list. So we were surprised by a Kozilek Butcher of Truth when we opened our set booster box in Strixhaven. So I'm excited to see what we find tonight. So I'm pulling out 6 packs. After these 6 packs are opened, we're going to close the top of the multi-class contest. And then halfway through, so 6, I'm going to pull 9 more. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So after these 9 packs are open, then we'll close the ampersand contest. And closing right now, I think we've got the, Andrea, I think, has already given you all last call to guess for your mythic encounter. So if you haven't, get them in right now. 5? I didn't know there were 5 rare slots, the Nah Baron. I thought there were 4, but maybe it's different for this set, and I just missed the memo. All right, let's get cracking. Oh yeah, here, I've got a breakdown here. So at least one rare or mythic rare card will open. 27% of set boosters contain 2, 3% contain 3, and it's even possible to open 4, although that's going to be less than 1% of the time. Yeah, so I think with the list cards, 4 is the max we'll see. We'll also see a traditional foil of any rarity, one rule book, module, or borderless, common or uncommon, one art card or foil stamped art card, 7 to 10 commons and uncommons, at most 7 may be uncommon, and one basic land or foil basic land, and one ad slash token slash dungeon card, or a card from the list. All right. So first pack, and our art card is some sort of Mind Flayer. Excellent. This is the art from True Polymorph by Steve, and Steve Prescott is the artist. And we've got our first flavor texted basic land. As you make camp near the ancient ruin, you hear the sound of drums echoing in the halls where no dwarf has lived in generations. I love these because they feel like the DM setting the scene for you. So cool. Very exciting. All right. And our first card in the pack is Shesra Death's Whisper, and this is that rulebook showcase art. So you can see that sort of parchmenty background that is classic in the original Monster Manual art. And yeah, she's an uncommon human elf warlock. So that's gonna be representing in our warlock. And then we've got an example too of the flavor lines here. Bewitching Whispers. When Shesra Death's Whisper enters the battlefield, target creature blocks this turn if able. And Whispers of the Grave. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, you may pay 2 life. If you do, draw a card. I think this art, this like showcase art, takes away a little bit for me from knowing like right off the bat what the card color is, like what the identity of the card is. But yeah, it's neat, but you have to look a little bit harder. And I think she's telling us a bit about the green-black archetype in the set, the Golgari archetype. But anyway, that's a warlock and a half-elf. We have a Jaded Sellsword. And I'll go kind of slowly through the first packs as usual with commons and uncommons, because I'm getting to know the set tonight too. It's nice to see. And then, okay, the number, like, I trust you, dude. It's just, I took my information straight from Wizards, so I must have missed something somewhere, if that is the case. But anyway, I think one of the wild cards is a common or uncommon slot, but who knows? Welcome, Agiel Zaka? Never know. Sometimes I don't know how to pronounce a username, or a screen name. So I'm just doing my best over here. All right. We have a Dragon's Fire. Not going to count for dragons this time. There's already too much to keep track of with my classes and the Dungeons and Dragons cards. I just realized this dragon is going to count both as a dragon and a warrior. But warrior, guess what? That's not a type, so we're going to be fine. If there's ever fighter in the name or paladin in the name, because those aren't creature types, but if it's in the name of the card, I'll count it if it's a creature, because they didn't start new creature types for those, but for our class system. All right. So that's just going in my dragon pile then. Mordenkainen's Polymorph. Until end of turn, target creature becomes a dragon with base power and toughness 4/4 and gains flying. Not a dragon, just a polymorph spell. The Hulking Bugbear. Tiger Tribe Hunter, and that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the end of our regular uncommons, I believe. And Hunter's Mark. I just love to see like the text. I love to see the words on all the references to D&D, which we're going to get a lot. Rogue Warrior. I'd say I'm going to interpret that as fighter, because fighter is technically the class. Warrior is just the creature type. Doesn't make sense to add a new creature type for the same thing. But if I get a creature that has fighter in the name, that's what I'll call it. Timo. But that contest also hasn't closed yet, so you can reword if you want to. All right. Contact other plane. I had a lot of fun playing this. And some other rolling D20 cards in a Dimir sealed deck today on Arena. Power word kill. Oh, that's a barbarian. Da-da-da. All right, power word kill. Destroy target non-angel, non-demon, non-devil, non-dragon creature. Very specific, but I feel like still good. 2 to cast instant removal. The Eye of Vecna is our first rare of the box. When it enters the battlefield, you draw a card and lose 2 life. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may pay 2. If you do, you draw a card and you lose 2 life. I see all things as they truly are. I see decay in all flesh and betrayal in every heart. Ever the optimist, Vecna. All right. And we have a bullet. One of the most what's the word I'm looking for? Just like unsuspectingly cute creatures in D&D, if you ask me. And we've got a magic. I love these new tokens that give us mini games, different ways to open packs, that kind of thing. All right. So just gonna double check we didn't miss any classes for the top of the multi-class, and we didn't. All right. On to pack number 2. Do you have a list of what has been taken? Oh, if you scroll up, you should be able to see people's entries a little bit, but if you really like, I mean, whatever you guess, we're drawing. So if you had guessed Tiamat and someone else guessed Tiamat, we would do a draw between the 2 of you, and we'd have a smaller prize for, whoever's name was not drawn. We would figure out a consolation prize. So don't worry too much about being perfectly unique, unless you really want to, in which case just scroll up and examine. All right. We have Drizzt Do'Urden for our next art card. We've got a forest. Before the Elf Queen will aid you, you must find a way to cure the strange rot afflicting the roots of the ancient trees. Rogue and Druid. Perfect. Thanks, Timo. And human. Human's not a class, so for top of the multi-class, we're thinking of classes rather than races. So there's still creature types, so it's a bit confusing. But if you can think of, like rangers, druids, warlocks, wizards, barbarians, fighters, paladins, clerics, rogues, etc. All right, we got a mimic. This actually looks kind of neat in the old art style. Bar the Gate. So this is our first card, I believe, that has the option to venture into the dungeon. So this is how we can activate a dungeon card. So dungeons are cool. You just kind of keep them in your sideboard or like in the command zone sort of thing. And as soon as you get a trigger for venture into the dungeon, you choose which dungeon you're entering and go into the first room. And each room, as you go through, you only go through when you play a card that says venture into the dungeon or trigger an ability that says venture into the dungeon. And when you do that, when you enter, something new happens, just like in a D&D session. And there's no way, at least yet, to remove a dungeon or to set somebody back a few paces in a dungeon. So, yeah, I mean, take advantage of it while there's no removal. Bar the Gate. We have a secret door. Another venture into the dungeon. Oh yeah, if you haven't been here before and you don't know, something that's neat about set boosters is that each common and uncommon is connected to the last. So connected by an ability type or a color. So it kind of tells a little bit of a story. So we've got a secret door. A veteran dungeoneer, so lots of dungeon venturing here. This is a human warrior. We have a blue dragon. That's another dragon for us. So this is, one of each chromatic dragon, I believe, in the uncommons. The blue dragon has lightning breath. When blue dragon enters the battlefield, until your next target creature an opponent controls gets -3/-0, up to one other target creature gets -2/-0, and up to one other target creature gets -1/-0. So kind of cool. I pulled a black dragon today in my sealed, and it was a fun one. We have a purple worm, which I wish they had spelled WURM, but that's okay. Costs 2 less to cast if a creature died this turn, and has Ward 2. It's a 7 to cast 8/7, which is pretty fun. Oh, can you change one of my guests for top of the multi-class to Bard Artificer? Oh yeah, Bartificer! Excellent character type. Or character class. We have a dungeon map. Not a dungeon, though. We've got Feign Death. You come to the Knoll Camp. Yes, so there's a bunch of cards, too, that have the name of the card is like a narrative action that you would hear your GM say during a session. So in this one, you come to the Knoll Camp, and these ones you get choices. So yeah, when you're role-playing, you might say, you come to the Knoll Camp, what do you do? And the card is just the same. You come to the Knoll Camp, choose one. Intimidate them, up to 2 target creatures can't block this turn, or fend them off. Target creature gets +3/+1 until end of turn. So are we using diplomacy, or are we rolling initiative? Very cool. We have a gelatinous cube. The rare in this pack. When it enters the battlefield, exile target non-ooze creature an opponent controls until gelatinous cube leaves the battlefield. And so that's engulf, and then dissolve is X and 1 black mana. Put target creature card with mana value X exiled with gelatinous cube into its owner's graveyard. Pretty specific situations, but kind of neat. We've got a foil Nadar Selfless Paladin. So this is one who will count as a paladin, will also count as a dragon, and I will not be confused by that. So actually, let's see what's going on with Nadar. He's 3 to cast, 3/3 with Vigilance, which is all. Whenever Nadar Selfless Paladin enters the battlefield or attacks, venture into the dungeon. Very cool. Other creatures you control get +1/+1 as long as you've completed a dungeon. Oh yeah, so there's not just triggers to push you through the dungeon, but there's things that are activated or bonuses you get, sort of like Ascend in Ixalan, where you have 10 permanents and then you get this ability forever, as long as this, there's an Ascend thing triggered. In this one, if you've completed a dungeon, the game sort of remembers. You don't get some kind of like reward usually, but hopefully you'll remember, and the game remembers that you've been through a dungeon and will give you a bonus for that. And still no dungeons yet, but we've got a really nice spider token, which I think must be connected to Lolth's card in some way. Is there anything that people are feeling especially excited to see, or a card that you're especially excited about in the set? Lime Jello is the finest of the Jello flavor. Oh, yeah, lime is pretty good. Oh, I missed which one you were talking about, Timo, with the EDH deck. It would be, I think, if it's Nadar, that would be wild. Considering he's so cheap to cast, you'd be in the dungeon like all the time. Yeah. So, I mean, how many times can you go through the dungeon of the Mad Mage in a commander game with 4 people? Oh, I love this art. So this is our art card for this pack, and it is the art from Feywild Trickster by Iris Compete. Very nice. And an island, which I don't think we've opened yet, so I'll read you the flavor text. After careful study, you've determined that the giant ruins served to track the movement of the planets, and they will soon align once more. Oh yeah, so blue. Yeah, you know what? Tasha's Hideous Laughter, I'm excited about that, and I was kind of hoping that we would get a Tasha, since we got a Xanathar, and we got a Mordenkainen, and we got a Volo. I wanted a Tasha, but We also didn't get any metallic, well, we got one metallic dragon. But yeah, maybe they'll do another D&D, another Forgotten Realms set, or they'll do a Feywild set or something else more specific D&D, and we'll get to see metallic dragons and Tasha. Who knows? We have a Celestial Unicorn, a Gloomstalker, that's our first ranger. As long as you've completed a dungeon, Gloomstalker has double strike. See, the game remembers if you've been through a dungeon. It doesn't need to be active in order for those things to trigger. We've got a Delver's Torch. So lots of equipment in this set because, of course, we want magic items when we're playing D&D. So we get them when we're playing D&D and Magic, too. Ranger's Hawk. Here's our uncommon Red Dragon with Fire Breath. When Red Dragon enters the battlefield, it deals 4 damage to each opponent. Sorry, not quite focused. But the art's kind of cool, so I'm gonna... There we go. Nice. Very red to have the art of a person on fire. And speaking of a person on fire, we have Ray of Frost, a person on the rocks. When Ray of Frost enters the battlefield, if enchanted creature is red, tap it. As long as enchanted creature is red, it loses all abilities. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. Oh yeah, so this is part of another cycle of cards that are monocolor and specifically are good against different monocolor, or not monocolor necessarily, but yeah, if a creature is red, it's especially affected by Ray of Frost. And I think there's one in each color. They're not all auras, though. Some of them are instants. Yeah, hopefully we'll see more. Oh, that's a dragon. Red dragon goes in the dragon pile. We have, Targnar, Demon Fang Gnoll. This is Pack Tactics, the ability or the mechanic that I mentioned at the beginning of the stream. Whenever Targnar, Demon Fang Gnoll attacks, if you attacked with creatures with total power 6 or greater this combat, attacking creatures get +1/+0 until end of turn. And you can pay 2 and 1 red and 1 green mana to double Targnar's power and toughness until end of turn. So doubling, I think Reckless Amplimancer and Strixhaven doubling. I can't think of a lot of cards with doubling, but maybe we're going to start seeing this a lot more. All right, there's Targnar. We have a Pixie Guide. 1/3 flyer. Grant an advantage. If you would roll 1 or more dice, instead roll that many dice +1 and ignore the lowest roll. In D&D, when we get advantage, we get to roll 2 dice and take the higher. So there's a few cards that have that sort of effect in this set as well. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever run Targnar in a deck just because, I like to announce a card as I cast it, and I can't rely on being able to do that. Not like I can with Asmora no Mardukar Dystina Kuldakar. That's different. All right. Plummet is back. And with more flavor text than ever, the dragon's noxious breath withered the forest, the whistle of 100 arrows filled the air, the ground roiled as if shaken by an earthquake, the tyrant fell from the sky. And here's our first mythic of the box. Did anyone guess that we would pull Zariel first, the Archduke of Avernus? So Zariel is one of the new planeswalkers. If you've played Descent into Avernus or adventured through Baldur's Gate, Zariel is an archangel in Elturel and is now a planeswalker in Magic. And let's check out what Zariel does. So it costs 2 colorless and 2 red mana. Oh, the Kamva. Kamva won the Mythic Encounter contest. Well done. Congratulations. Let's do a quick little recap of what Cam will win. For the prizes, they are not at the store yet. So if you go to the store like tomorrow morning expecting to get your prize, it's probably not going to happen. So I'm going to suggest you wait until pre-release at least. Probably release weekend we'll have everything for sure, because we're still waiting on some promo packs to come in, I think. Yeah, so for this weekend, maybe next weekend, definitely you'll be able to pick up full prize packs. And Cam, congratulations, you're gonna win 25 loyalty points in our loyalty program, 1 Adventures in the Forgotten Realms set booster, 1 mini RPG set of polyhedrals by Adventure Dice called Gelatinous Ooze, which are a lovely shade of ooze, and 1 promo pack. So well done, Cam. And I should say, now that Cam's won Mythic Encounter, Cam can't win Top of the Multiclass or the Ampersand. His answers may still be correct, but we never give one of the big prizes to the same person twice. But if you use the Power Word Buy note in a pre-order tonight, then you can still get that bonus loot. Even if you've won a contest, you'll still be able to claim that. But if you're cashing it, if you do spread it out and do 2 pre-orders, we're only giving you treasure 1 time. So yeah, same for the contests, you can win once. And for the pre-order treasure, you can get 1 piece of treasure from our hoard. All right, very nice. Zariel, so his +1 ability, creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain haste until end of turn. His 0 cost ability is create a 1/1 red devil creature token with when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. And his alt is you get an emblem with at the end of the first combat phase on your turn, untap target creature you control. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Oh, we love double combat, don't we? So that's very exciting. Pull it down a little bit so you can maybe get a look at the whole card yourself. All right, well, listen, it was focused before, folks, so I'm just going to move on. So that's Zariel, and we have a foil, Arborea Pegasus, and a card from the list, Moldervine Reclamation, which is a fun enchantment from Core 2020, is in our token slot. All right, going to go a bit faster through this one, now that we've seen lots of good stuff. Our art card in this pack. This is the Basic Mountain by Sarah Finnegan. This art. And we've got a swamp here. As you trudge through the sewers of Baldur's Gate, it dawns on you, where are all the rats? Oh yeah, for the Ampersand contest, we'll close that one halfway through, so you've got some time to see how many dragons, speak of the dragon, how many dragons are in this box, and how many dungeons are in this box. And when we add them together, how many total there are. So this is our second red dragon, but our first alt art borderless red dragon, which is pretty gorgeous. So actually, I really like both pieces of art, but probably prefer the drama of this one a little bit more, even though we don't get a guy on fire. It's okay. So that's another dragon for us. We have a planar ally, Fate's Reversal, a doom denied or perhaps delayed. Clattering skeletons. When it dies, you venture into the dungeon. Thanks, Serene City, for recapping those contests. If the squirrel count from last time's... Yeah. I think we... Oh, gosh. I think we had 24 squirrels, but I don't remember whether that was in the collector box or the set booster box. But we pulled a lot of squirrels. All right. This is a loathsome troll. So one of the things that's cool about the roll a d20 mechanic in the set is that there are times where you're going to get, when you roll a 1 and it will give you a different result than 2 through 20 or any of the other numbers that you may roll on a d20, but you always get something. There's never a card, unlike in D&D, there's never a time that you would roll a 1 and get nothing. You've spent mana on a spell or an ability or whatever, so you're never getting nothing, but you will often get better things for rolling higher. So as an example, for Loathsome Troll, you can pay 3 colorless and 1 green mana to roll a d20, and you can only do this if Loathsome Troll is in your graveyard. So if you roll a 1 through 9, then you put Loathsome Troll on top of your library. If you roll a 10 through 19, you return Loathsome Troll to your hand. And if you roll a natural 20, then you return Loathsome Troll to the battlefield tapped. So they do get better as you roll higher, but you're never going to be left in the dust with nothing. Right. So there are, but like you're still getting to like, you're not going to cast like an instant or a sorcery that has the roll a d20 ability and get nothing for it. So maybe for like some permanents, there will be negative effects on that, but the card is still in play. They're never going to steal mana from you. And again, that's coming from wizards. So anyway, I think it's neat, and it's interesting to like have negative effects and positive effects. But it's nice that you never get nothing when you're spending your mana. Burning Hands. We have a Chaos Channeler. The nat 20 on this is to exile the top 3 cards of your library and that you may play them this turn. The Precipitous Drop, which is some removal that annoyed me a lot today in my sealed event. When Precipitous Drop enters the battlefield, venture into the dungeon. Enchanted creature gets -2/-2, or -5/-5 instead, as long as you've completed a dungeon. We've got a Divine Smite. And this is an example of one of the cards bringing phasing back. So target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls phases out. If that permanent is black, exile it instead. Oh, right. So this is the white version of that blue spell from earlier that targets, that's like extra good against a red creature. Yeah, that's exactly right, Cam. That's exactly right. The only time you get nothing from spending mana is if your opponent is playing blue, and that's the truth. All right, so, okay, here's a rare land for us, Hall of Storm Giants. If you control 2 or more other lands, Hall of Storm Giants enters the battlefield tapped. You can tap it for blue mana, or you can pay 6 mana. Until end of turn, Hall of Storm Giants becomes a 7/7 blue giant creature with Ward 3, and it is still a land. Pretty cool. And a foil Blink Dog in the rulebook, foil rulebook art. And we've got another card from the list, Knowledge Pool. I think that's 2 in a row from that. Just making sure I didn't miss any classes. I'm trying really hard to be vigilant on that, but I'm expecting that I'll get all caps in the chat if I miss something important. Yeah. Actually, yeah, I don't, like, we talked about, there's lovers and haters of the rulebook showcase printing. This one looks pretty badass, I think. Pretty cool. All right. Oh, what is happening? I'm confused. Oh, this is the module art for the Drider creature. Right? Okay, sorry, hang on a second. I need a minute to figure out what is happening. This is an art card. Oh my gosh, okay. So this looks like the modern Monster Manual. I haven't seen this style of card at all until I just opened this one. So this is not a card that you can cast. This is printed on the back of an art card for the creature spell Drider, which is in the set. So yeah, this has the stat. Thanks, Rain City, for your caps. This is like the stat sheet that you would be looking at if you were running a Drider in an encounter. So very, very cool. And then we flip it over and we get to see the gorgeous art. Gorgeous and very creepy art of the Drider card in the set. All right. Oh, that's so neat. Cool. Okay, cool. We've got a Plains now. Seeking to learn why the ancestors have fallen silent, you've made your way to their ancient cairns. I love the idea of like a basic land being your gateway into an adventure, because it is. We can't do anything without mana. We need our basic lands in a Magic deck in order to cast spells and all of that. And yeah, I just like it. I think it's a good cross-section of flavor and function. So we've got a Pixie Guide in the rulebook art. We have another Precipitous Drop, Zombie Ogre, Feign Death, a drastic measure for dangerous times, an Iron Golem that attacks or blocks each combat if able. Magic Missile! This spell can't be countered. Magic Missile deals 3 damage divided as you choose among 1, 2, or 3 targets. All right, cool. Yeah, it's fun to see like how they interpret the rules of spells in D&D to rules of spells in Magic. And our first class card, so this is the new enchantment in Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. So this is the Wizard class. So how these work, I don't actually remember what those cards are called, but there are some older cards where you like pay a certain amount of mana to like level the card up, sort of, and then the abilities get better as you go. So no, not sagas. This is an old thing. So a saga is an enchantment. I'm talking about creatures where you could like, they would have like costs on the, is it level up? Okay, sweet. Yeah, I didn't know if that was officially what it was. So yeah, I just know I have a Boros creature that's like a Kithkin, I think, that gets better. Anyway, that's kind of how a wizard class works. So this looks more like a saga, but it doesn't function like a saga. In a saga, each upkeep, you up the die by 1, and once you get to 3, the last ability happens, and then you sacrifice the saga. It goes away, and there are no real permanent effects from a saga. With a class, you pay to level up. So, and you can't level like straight up to level 3. You start at level 1. So the wizard class, when you cast it for 1 blue mana, it gives you the ability that you have no maximum hand size. Then when you pay 3 mana, you can level up to level 2. And the wizard ability is when this class becomes level 2, you draw 2 cards. You don't necessarily, well, they say you don't need to use a marker or anything on your class cards. You just know when you've paid this ability, or when you've paid this cost, you get this ability. And you are now a level 2 wizard. Once you pay 4 colorless and 1 blue mana, you can level it up to level 3. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. We don't sack a class after it gets to level 3. It stays on the battlefield until someone removes it or you sacrifice it or whatever. You can have more than 1 class. So yeah, you can multi-class, or you can also have 2 wizard classes out on the battlefield at the same time. And in that case, then you draw a card, you're getting that trigger twice if you're at level 3 on both. But you're not, if I were to get all the way up to level 3, and then I drew another wizard class card, if I cast that one is still only at level 1. I don't get to be at level 3 on both, even though I'm in D&D. If you're a level 3 wizard, you're a level 3 wizard, you get the level 3 stuff. These are connected just to the cards. So it's possible to be at level 3 and at level 1 if you have 2 of the same class out. All right, all clear? That's a wizard. And we have Shocking Grasp. Teleportation Circle. This is fun. For to cast enchantment at the beginning of your end step, exile up to one target artifact or creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Here, a wizard. Yeah, that's right. Ochre Jelly, second rare in this pack. So this is an ooze with just a horrible ochre color. So Ochre Jelly has trample. It costs X and 1 green mana when it enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it, and has the ability Split. When it dies, if it had 2 or more +1/+1 counters on it, create a token that's a copy of it at the beginning of the next end step. The token enters the battlefield with half that many +1/+1 counters on it, rounded down. So if you play Slay the Spire and you've ever killed one of the little jellies in the dungeons in Slay the Spire, then they split into 2 little jellies. Your ex was an Ochre Jelly. Oh my gosh. Yes, so anyway, that's Ochre Jelly. Very flavorful and very cool. And we have a foil Dragon's Fire. And our token, is it a dungeon? It's not. It's a treasure. We like treasure, but we haven't seen a dungeon yet. I'm really eager to see them. All right, not missing anything there. This is your last chance to throw a guess in for top of the multi-class. So when this pack is over, I'll let you know what we're at for our classes. So, well, actually, I'll just tell you right now. So far, we have 1 Warlock, 1 Barbarian, 1 Ranger, 1 Wizard, and 1 Paladin. So we have representation of 5 of the 12 classes, and we'll see what happens in this pack. We've got the art for Peter Dura's Forest. Piotr Dura? There was a warrior, but warrior's not the name of the class. So what I said off the top, like, paladins are not paladins in their creature types. And fighters are fighters in name, but their creature type is warrior. But the class card is still fighter. And for paladin, the class card is paladin. So I've said if there is a fighter in those 2 instances, I think those are the only 2 that are kind of funny. So if there is paladin in the name, then that's a paladin. If there's fighter in the name, that's a fighter. Yeah, I think that's how I'm gonna. Well, that's how I said I was going to do it. If there are big problems about it, then I can revisit at the end of the stream once we've opened all the packs. I'll do a quick search through, but yeah. All right, we got a swamp, foil, Neverwinter Dryad, which just, I mean, the art suits this printing very much. It looks very old school. Got a Manticore, Tail Spikes, of course, Spare Dagger, an Underdark Basilisk, Sudden Insight, draw a card for each different mana value among non-land cards in your graveyard. A lucky draw from the deck of many things gave Voltuscan an inexplicable flash of understanding that he spent the rest of his life trying to repeat. That's cool flavor on a Sudden Insight. Gretchen Titchwillow, a halfling druid. So here's a druid for us. And I think this is our sort of sense of what Simic is doing in this set. So you can pay 2 colorless, 1 green, 1 blue mana to draw a card. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. That's just great. Plant what you wish to see grow. Listen for the stories you want to hear told. Very cute. All right, so we got a druid joining the mix. And a druid class card. Oh, all right. So I hoped we would have some drama in this pack. So Simic does what Simic always does. Yeah, but I mean, that's still a nice, like, it's 2 to cast and then pay 4 to draw a card and be able to put another land down. I think it's good. All right, druid class. Gain the next level as a sorcery to add its ability. I should have said that before. When you're going up a level, you can only do that as a sorcerer. You can't do that at instant speed. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life, is level 1. Level 2 is you may play an additional land on each of your turns, which is amazing. And level 3, when this class becomes level 3, target land you control becomes a creature with haste, and this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. It's still a land. So that's very neat. And I would guess that even when this, I don't know, when this leaves the battlefield, I would guess that that land remains a creature. Yeah, because it becomes a creature with haste. It's not until it leaves the battlefield, so yes. We've got a ranger's longbow, a magic item for our rangers. An earth cult elemental. So a nat 20 on this one will have each opponent sack 2 permanents. And Orcus, Prince of Undeath. Wow, what a terror to behold. Just kind of hoping that this will come into focus for you soon so you can get a good look at the art, which is a little... when you, the Teemo for your order, if you put that sort of keyword message in, power word by, into the notes section, then you're fine. You should be fine. But if you really want, you can reply to your confirmation email when we send that out to make sure. But I suspect you're okay. All right, well. Trying so hard to manually focus this now. Oh, thanks, Andrea. Andrea's gonna check for you. I'm the same way. Second guessing everything. There he is. Orcus, the Prince of Undeath. Legendary demon. Costs X and 2 and 1 black and 1 red. He's a 5/3 flying with trample. When Orcus, Prince of Undeath, enters the battlefield, choose 1. Each other creature gets -X until end of turn, and you lose X life. Or return up to X target creature cards with total mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. They gain haste until end of turn. So this I expect to see someone running a commander deck around, although he'll be a very expensive commander. So maybe he'll just make an appearance in another Rakdos commander deck, but that's kind of fun. His ETB effects. And we've got a foil Shocking Grasp. And our first dungeon! Finally, we've got the Lost Mine of Phandelver, which is from the starter set, I believe, for 5th edition. So we always start at the entrance of the dungeon. So once again, it's always moving through the dungeon always has to be triggered by an ability or a spell that says venture into the dungeon. So if you venture into the dungeon and choose the Lost Mine of Phandelver, you enter the cave entrance, and that effect is to scry 1. Then from there, the next time you venture, you can choose to enter either the Goblin Lair or the Mine Tunnels. Create a treasure token or create a Goblin token. You can enter the storeroom from the Goblin Lair and get a +1/+1 counter on target creature. You can enter the Dark Pool from either the Lair or the Tunnels for each opponent to lose 1 life and you to gain 1 life. Or through the Mine Tunnels, you can get to the Fungi Cavern, which gives target creature -4/-0 until your next turn, ending in the Temple of Dumathoin, where you draw a card. So, pretty fun. There's some versatility in these dungeons. And yeah, pretty neat. No way to go backwards, and no way to destroy a dungeon. But that's a dungeon for our dungeon pile. And that is the last chance for you to enter a guess for top of the multi-class. A lot of trash talk of Mondo Fishy's exes in the chat tonight. Ochre Ooze and Prince of Undeath. Actually, I've probably got an ex also who is a Prince of Undeath. All right. I don't know why this pack was suddenly so difficult to get open. Let's see our art card here. What have we got? What is she? Ranger? Druid? Delina Wild Mage. My guess is a druid, but we'll see if we pull that card. We've got a forest. As monsters from the Underdark rampage across the world above, you've delved deep underground to determine what has driven them upward. Goblin Javelineer! That's fun and looks perfectly appropriate on that rulebook art. Contact other plane. We've got a pixie guide. A Ginny Windseer. The D20 on this one is going to affect how much you get to scry when it enters the battlefield. 4 to cast 3/3 flyer that lets you scry 1, 2, or 3 is pretty nice. Split the party. The flavor text, don't. For this sorcery, you get to choose target player and return half of the creatures they control to their owner's hand, rounded up. Yes, power word buy should be in the comments, not the discount code. That's right. Thank you. I mean, you could put it in the discount code, but it wouldn't do anything and we wouldn't see it. So put it in the notes. That way we see it and we know to put some loot in the bag with your order. Krydal of Baldur's Gate is a half-elf rogue and representing Dimir in AFR. Whenever Krydal of Baldur's Gate deals combat damage to a player, that player loses 1 life and mills a card, and you gain 1 life and scry 1. So this isn't Strixhaven. This Dimir rogue is fitting right into what we know and expect, and some of us love and some of us hate about a Dimir deck. Whenever you attack, you may pay 2. If you do, target creature can't be blocked this turn. So very roguish, and an addition to our rogue pile. Check for traps. Obviously connected to the previous rogue by color, but also flavor. Got a Temple of the Dragon Queen. So I haven't seen this one before. The art is really cool. It reminds me of the bottom of the cave or the caverns. I don't want to give spoilers for anyone playing Pokemon Snap, but this reminds me of a certain part of Pokemon Snap. The new Pokemon Snap. As Temple of the Dragon Queen enters the battlefield, you may reveal a dragon card from your hand. Temple of the Dragon Queen enters the battlefield tapped unless you revealed a dragon card this way or you control a dragon. As it enters the battlefield, choose a color, and it adds 1 mana of the chosen color. So, great. We've got Temple of the it's not a dragon, so Instrument of the Bards. Legendary artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a harmony counter on Instrument of the Bards. You can pay 4 and tap to search your library for a creature card with mana value equal to the number of harmony counters on Instrument of the Bards. Reveal it, put it into your hand, and if it's legendary, you create a treasure token. Then shuffle. Very cool. Little rare artifact. Dragon Turtle. All right. This card is kind of fun. I played it a lot today. It's got flash. It's 3 to cast with 2 of those being blue mana. And it has the flavor Drag Below. When Dragon Turtle enters the battlefield, tap it and up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. They don't untap during their controller's next untap step. So we don't get to use it for a couple turns, but they also don't get to use a creature for a couple turns. Who's our 10 billion? Sorry, I just every once in a while want to see what you folks are talking about see if I miss any good jokes in the chat. All right. I'm glad to see that people are using the power word buy notes and pre-ordering some Adventures in the Forgotten Realms from RainCity.games, Veteran Dungeoneer, and another Lost Mine of Phandelver. We've got another stat block for an Etten. I actually haven't seen that card yet, but here's the art for it, so I'm curious about what that one will do. Maybe we'll pull one and we'll be able to see. Got an island, another Neverwinter Dryad with the rulebook art, Arcane Investigator. Search the room. And that's a wizard for our wizard pile. Where's our wizard pile? Oh, yes, right here, where it says wizard. We've got a tiefling shaman, the scion of Stygia, who can cast a cone of cold. Soul Knife Spy. This is a card I really like. It's just fun to find ways to make it evasive and make sure you get to draw a card each time that it deals, or that it attacks. Got a Portable Hole, everyone's favorite magic item. When it enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls with mana value 2 or less until Portable Hole leaves the battlefield. And I just realized that I put my Soul Knife Spy into the pile of whatevers, but it belongs in the rogue pile. Is that what I'm getting caps about over there? Nope, no caps yet. All right, Portable Hole. We've got a Bag of Holding. So this one's pretty cool, pretty neat. There we go. Whenever you discard a card, exile that card from your graveyard. You can pay 2 and tap to draw a card, then discard a card, or you can pay 4, tap, and sack your Bag of Holding to return all cards exiled with Bag of Holding to their owner's hand. So I think that's a fun way to add like good card draw to any color deck. I hate discarding cards. I very rarely, even when it's like smart or like a good thing to be doing in a certain deck, I get really stressed out about discarding cards. But if I know I'm going to get them back, like this is the card to make me play a discard deck. All right, we've got a Rust Monster. Oh gosh, they're so gross. They don't seem scary, but then you're suddenly standing there in your underclothes without a weapon. Then everything looks like a threat. I don't know too much about what rust monsters do in D&D, but I've seen enough art of them to not care to find out. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking, I've seen one before, but it was a miniature. I've seen a miniature of a rust monster, and they're not very big at all. They're a miniature. We've got a Shortcut Seeker here. That's a rogue for our rogue pile. And our first cleric, I think, Barrowin of Clan Undur. When Barrowin of Clan Undur enters the battlefield, venture into the dungeon. When he attacks, return up to 1 creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield if you've completed a dungeon. So that's pretty fun for Orzhov. And need a pile for our clerics now. Sphere of Annihilation. This is a really odd card to me. I don't know yet if I like it. So you have to let me know if you think this is very useful or very cool. So this is Sphere of Annihilation. It's an artifact that you pay X and 1 black mana to cast. It enters the battlefield with X void counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile Sphere of Annihilation. All creatures and planeswalkers with mana value less than or equal to the number of void counters on it, and all creature and planeswalker cards in graveyards with mana value less than or equal to the number of void counters on it. So it's like an artifact of removal, which is interesting. I don't know. It's neat. I don't know. That's a rare soul up here. We've got a Spiked Pit Trap in foil. And another card from the list, a Venerated Teacher. All right. So our class piles are getting a little bit bigger. We haven't seen a dragon in a little bit. But we've suddenly got a ton of rogues, a couple of druids. And the contest that ends in a few packs is going to be the ampersand. So if you haven't, well, yeah, you don't need to guess yet. You don't need to put in a number. Let's get you some more information first. But start thinking about how many dungeons and dragons you think we'll get in the whole box. Got a Displacer Beast art card. Very cool. Is the teacher a wizard? The teacher is a wizard. Oh, yeah, not technically part of the set, but that didn't matter to us last time, so it doesn't matter to us this time. As long as we got it from one of these packs, it counts. And it doesn't go in the rogue pile, it goes in the... Oh no, what have I done? Rogues and wizards are both blue and they're beside each other. There we go, all right. So, we've got a Plains, we've got a Gnoll Hunter, And that's a gnoll hunter, a hunter who is a gnoll, not a gnoll hunter with a hyphen that hunts gnolls and is a gnoll. I don't know. Ranger's longbow. Here's an Eltergard ranger. So that'll be added to our ranger pile over here. Spoils of the hunt. A trickster's talisman. Invoke duplicity, which is, of course, an ability in 5e for some characters. Here's our Feywild Trickster. Oh, that's exciting. We pulled this art card earlier and I commented I really liked it and hoped we'd see the real card, and it's a Warlock. And Warlock is my favorite class in 5e. Whenever you roll one or more dice, create a 1/1 blue fairy dragon creature token with flying. So that's very cool. Oh, a blue card I'm excited about. That's a rare find. All right, there's a Warlock for us. Power of Persuasion. A nat 20 will have you gain control of target creature and opponent controls until the end of your next turn. Charmed Sleep. Just a nice untap, tap, don't untap aura. Hive of the Eye Tyrant. So this is a black rare land. If you control 2 or more other lands, Hive of the Eye Tyrant enters the battlefield tapped. You can add 1 black mana or pay 4. Until end of turn, Hive of the Eye Tyrant becomes a 3/3 black beholder creature with menace, and whenever this creature attacks, exile target card from a defending player's graveyard. It is still a land. So I think they all do that, actually. Each of the rare mono-colored lands become a creature with some ability and have of course, the control 2 or more other lands entering. Then it enters tapped thing. We've got the Rogue class cards. This is one of the rare classes. Rogue class at level 1, whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of that player's library face down. You may look at it for as long as it remains exiled. At level 2, creatures you control have menace. And at level 3, you may play cards exiled with Rogue class, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast those spells. So just doing what a rogue does, just stealing and taking advantage and making it hard to block. Very cool. And we've got a Jaded Sellsword, who is a dragon. And a foil. And do we have a nope, we've got, oh gosh. Gwenwyvar? Let's call her Gwen. This is the cat that belongs to Drizzt. Listen. It's a legendary creature in the set and in Magic. It's pronounced Guinevere? I mean, I believe you, but I wouldn't have got there myself. I like it. It's sort of like the regular Guinevere, but it's like maybe a sort of type of like Celtic language spelling. That's what it reminds me of. Where the letters don't necessarily do what I, as a native English speaker, want them to do. Ooh, here's our art card. We've got the stat block for Tiamat and the art for the regular art Tiamat, who I'm named after, actually. That's a lie, but wouldn't that be really cool? All right, we've got a forest. We've got another Pixie Guide with rulebook frame. A natural 20 with the Hoarding Ogre will get you 3 treasure tokens. You get to roll each time Hoarding Ogre attacks. And you always get at least 1 treasure token. That's fun. We have an Earth Cult Elemental. Brazen Dwarf. Sorcerer. Faraday, Devil's Chosen, a Tiefling Warlock. So this is our sort of, is it uncommon legendary? You're right, Timo. Faraday Devil's Chosen has Dark One's Own Luck. Whenever you roll one or more dice, Faraday Devil's Chosen gains flying and menace until end of turn. If any of those results was 10 or higher, you also draw a card. That's cool. And I love the flavor text on here as a Warlock fan. A pact is a tool, not a damnation. And cool to see so many tieflings in this set. We have a Barbarian class card, one of the uncommon classes. If you would roll one or more dice, instead roll that many dice plus one and ignore the lowest roll, so we get advantage because we're a reckless barbarian. At level 2, whenever you roll one or more dice, target creature you control gets +2/+0 and gains menace until end of turn. And at level 3, creatures you control have haste. So just like a great card to have if you're in red. Check for traps. 50 feet of rope. Love this. That this is a card. As it's in every adventurer's equipment list. You can climb over and tap, so target wall can't block this turn. You can tie up, pay 3 and tap, and target creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Or you can rappel down, pay 4 and tap to venture into the dungeon, activate only as a sorcery. This is actually a pretty cool little artifact. It's 1 to cast and it's pretty versatile. I like it. We've got a Hobgoblin Bandit Lord. That's a rogue. We've got a Minion of the Mighty foil rulebook art. This is our rare. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's take a look at this Hobgoblin Bandit Lord. I didn't realize it was a rare. I just saw goblin and thought, well, that's a goblin. But no, this goblin's great. Gives other goblins +1/+1. Or you can pay 1 red mana and tap it to have it deal damage equal to the number of goblins that entered the battlefield under your control this turn to any target. Like many goblin decks, obviously if you're building with this Hobgoblin, you want to be creating goblins all the time. And it's a 2/3 for 3 to cast that pumps your goblin, so that is great. All right, now he can go in the rogue pile, and we can check out this Minion of the Mighty. You gotta love a kobold, and this kobold has menace and pack tactics, and it's also 0/1. But when Minion of the Mighty attacks, if you attacked with creatures with total 6 or greater this combat, you may put a dragon creature card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. So, I mean, no one's going to double block this little guy to kill him, but he brings in, except that he brings in a dragon if you have enough friends around. That's kind of fun. And we've got our add card with a wolf token. Not a dungeon. Also rogue. You're talking about the Hobgoblin, right? Which I put into the rogue pile? I think so. Roguish little... Yeah. And kobold. Yeah, it's great. I think there was, in Commander Legends, was the 0/1 legendary... That was a kobold too, right? I think so. What have we got here? Ah, this is the art for that... Oh, shoot. Well, it was in my deck earlier today. It is Contact Other Plane. Got a swamp. A Loathsome Troll, which we've seen the original art for. This is the rulebook showcase art. Swarming Goblins. This is what you want if you've got your Hobgoblin Bandit Lord out. When Swarming Goblins enters the battlefield, roll a d20. 1 to 9 gets you 1 goblin, 10 to 19 gets you 2, and a natural 20 gets you 3 goblin tokens. And it's a 4/3 itself, so that's pretty great. Faraday's Fireball deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Roll a d20, and if you roll below 10, it'll deal 2 damage to each player, and above 10 up to 20 will deal 2 damage to each opponent, so you don't have to get hit. We've got a Spiked Pit Trap. Critical hit, target creature gains double strike until end of turn. That's great, right? Like double strike is kind of Magic's crit, right? Because we have to double our damage dice, and double strike obviously doubles our damage against a creature, so that's great. When you roll a natural 20, return critical hit from your graveyard to your hand. Oh, I love that. That's fun. That's a fun way to use the dice in the set. We've got a Guild Thief. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, it gets a +1/+1 counter, and you can use a cunning action and pay 4 to make it unblockable for a turn. Oh, that's a rogue. We've got a Keen-Eared Sentry. Each opponent can't venture into the dungeon more than once each turn. Got Dragon's Fire, a Planar Ally, Zariel, Archduke of Avernus in the Alt Art Borderless edition. So take a nice look at this. Oh my gosh. This is so much. The original art was already kind of cool, but this is really incredible. Let's see, you can compare here. So this is our OG Zariel and the Alt Art Borderless Zariel. I think I mentioned it at the top of the stream, but after these box openings, we do place the singles within a few days usually. It'll probably be Friday or Saturday. Well, it might be as soon as tomorrow, but more likely Friday or Saturday. These singles will be up for pre-order on the website. So on our website, www.raincity.games. So if you want to, you can pre-order some of these singles and they'll be ready for you to pick up on release weekend. So not this coming Friday, but next Friday, you'll be able to pick those up when you pick up like your draft booster boxes or your collector booster boxes. And although you won't be able to pre-order the singles tonight and use the Power Word Buy note on singles this time, there may be some up by next Wednesday when we'll have a different code for you to use. So you have to tune in to the stream next Wednesday night if you want to get more treasure. We'll see. All right, we've got Zariel, Archduke of Avernus, just beautiful. Feign Death, foil, and just an ad card. All right. Did I miss a class card in here? No. That kobold kept looking at me like it wanted me to think it was a rogue. All right. It probably is a rogue, but... Here's a bard of some sort. Oh, it's from the Wish card. Oh, which is neat. It lets you, I think, play a card from outside the game. Mountain. Hama Pashar Ruin Seeker, who is our uncommon legendary in Azorius. Room abilities of dungeons you own trigger an additional time. Ooh, that's fun. What's a dragon? What are you all saying to me? The kobold is not a dragon. The kobold thinks it's a dragon. The kobold is not a dragon. Oh, but the dragon turtle was a dragon. That is correct. I'll find it after, okay? Just, I'll find it after. Thank you. So, Hama Pashar, Ruin Seeker. This is a wizard for us. Compel Duel. Target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn and must be blocked this turn if able. Love Compel Duel. I have used it in bad situations 3 times in the last, month. I shouldn't have used it, but one day I'll use it right. We have a Scaled Herbalist, who is a lizard druid, not a dragon druid. So this is going to count for a druid, but not for our dragons. Wild Shape, which this art is really beautiful. It's by Sam Gay. Oh, I was about to say it reminds me of Rebecca Gay a little bit. The art style, if you look really closely in the hands and the tendrils and stuff, you see that kind of delicate touch that her art has. But Sam Gay, I wonder what the relationship is, if anything. I think Rebecca and her daughter recently both did art for the Secret Lair that's on right now. But it wasn't that name. I think if it was her daughter, if I'm right, and it was her daughter, her last name was Mitchell. But this is a different name. But anyway, Blink Dog. Got a Displacer Beast, which we've seen the art card for. Yes, the Blink Dog is a good boy. It's a 1/1 double strike and teleports, obviously, since it's a Blink Dog. We've got a Rhyme Shield Frost Giant. Another Nadar, non-foil this time. And that's a dragon and a paladin for us. We have a white zombie soldier. This is our second rare of the pack with rulebook art. A Paladin's Shield. When it enters the battlefield, attach it to target creature you control. That creature gets +0/+2. And a Magic minigame. You have to pay 4 to make him blink. And he blinks someone else too, doesn't he? Blink Dog. No, just him. He blinks if you pay 4. He'll phase out and then come back like a good boy. Ooh. Whoa, okay, this is neat. So this is we haven't, I don't think, seen this before. This is an art card for one of the showcase pieces. So this is the rulebook showcase art for the card Cloister Gargoyle. And it's got the foil gold Planeswalker symbol there in the corner. That's very cool. We've got a foil forest, a rulebook bullet, Neverwinter Dryad, which we've only seen the rulebook version of. I think this is much prettier. Owlbear! First Owlbear of the box. It has Keen Senses. When it enters the battlefield, you draw a card. 5 to cast, 4/4 with trample and gets you a card is pretty good. We've got a Hill Giant Herd Gorger. Just holding a sheep in his grip there for him to take a bite of later. Amazing. A Shepherd's Crook is useful for cleaning bits of wool out of the teeth. A 6 to cast, 7/6. That's fun. Kalane, Reclusive Painter. Human elf, so it's human elf, but we know in D&D that's a half elf. It's a half elf bard, 2 to cast, 1 black, 1 red. When it enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. Other creatures you control enter the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on them for each mana from treasure spent to cast them. So that's, I mean, we've seen with Azorius and the Dimir card and the Simic card all kind of doing what we expect from those colors, but this, the Rakdos sort of archetype in the set is a little bit different. This is where treasure really matters, and suddenly we're getting triggers for using treasure to cast spells. We've got a Skullport Merchant. Oh, this is a bard, so it's going in the bard pile, which I don't have yet, so it goes there. Dwarf Citizen, Skullport Merchant. We've got a Prosperous Innkeeper. Of course, it's a halfling. A Devoted Paladin. So this is one for our Paladin pile. Iron Golem. Varys, Silvery Moon Ranger. So Varys is a half-elf ranger with reach and ward 1. Whenever you cast a creature or planeswalker spell, venture into the dungeon. This ability triggers only once each turn. Whenever you complete a dungeon, create a 2/2 green wolf creature token. So someone out there will know better than I will whether Varys is already part of D&D's history or if this is a new character. I don't know. I haven't, I'm sad to say that I haven't done a lot of the like older D&D modules. I don't know a lot. I know some of the old lore, but not a lot of it. Got a foil Grim Bounty, and finally a Dungeon of the Mad Mage. So we gain 1 life in the first room, scry 1 in the second room. You can create a treasure token in the Goblin Bazaar, or target creature can't attack until your next turn in the Twisted Caverns. Scry 2, and then you've got choices again. Exile the top 2 cards of your library, you may play them, or create 2 1/1 black skeleton creature tokens. Scry 3 in the deep mines, and at the very last room, you draw 3 cards and reveal them. You may cast one of them without paying its mana cost. I made it all the way through the Dungeon of the Mad Mage in one of my sealed matches today, and felt great. It's a fun dungeon. And goes to our dungeon pile. All right, we are almost at the end of the ampersand contest, so I've got 2 more packs. I'm going to move a little bit faster, and then I'll let you know where we're at for our dungeons and our dragons. This is our art card for the pack. Grim Bounty. We've got a swamp. An Arborea Pegasus. Find the Path. Clever Conjurer. Air Cult Elemental. You Meet in a Tavern. This is another of the U cards, the narrative title cards. You meet in a tavern, choose one, form a party or start a brawl. Yeah, pretty fun. And the the form a party ability lets you reveal any number of creature cards. Like, you look at the top 5 cards of your library, pick, if they're all creatures, you can put all of them into your hand if you want to. So your party can be as big as you wish. We have a Grim Wanderer. This is a warlock. Here's the standard art for Hama Pashar, Ruin Seeker. On the wizard stack, we've got a Hoarding Ogre, once again. An Intrepid Outlander. This is a ranger for us. Pack tactics that bring you into the dungeon. And here's the fighter class. This is our first fighter card, I think. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. At level 2, equip abilities you activate cost 2 less to activate. And at level 3, whenever a creature you control attacks, up to 1 target creature blocks at this combat if able. Fighter. And we've got a foil owlbear. And a Bloodied Ghost is our card from the list. All right, after this pack, the ampersand contest closes. And I'll give you a total before I give you any trouble. All right, okay, this card has stirred up some drama among the staff at Rain City Games just this afternoon. So we've got the stat block, or the stats for Tarrasque, and the art for the Tarrasque card. So we're sort of differing opinions of whether they've done justice to the Tarrasque in its card. I think if they tried to make the Tarrasque in Magic as Tarrasque as it is in D&D, it would be way too overpowered to be able to play. But I think there's definitely, hopefully we'll open one and we'll be able to see what it does, and whether you think it's whether it's a good tribute to the Tarrasque. All right, Foil Mountain. Got a Lurking Roper. Just horrid. Oh yeah, and it's a horror. So you gotta love walking into a Roper tendril in a sewer. We've got a Rime Shield Frost Giant. Shocking Grasp. Bull's Strength. You find some prisoners. Choose one. Break their chains or interrogate them. Eccentric Apprentice. We've got a Tiefling Wizard here for our wizard pile. Got Fly, which is an aura that gives a creature flying, and when it deals damage to a player, then you get to venture into the dungeon, which I got some good use out of earlier today. It's fun. I know not everybody loves an aura like that. They kind of make things targets, but I liked playing it. Got a Silver Raven. And Spoils of the Hunt. Lair of the Hydra. So we've got, is this the green land? Yes, this is the green rare land. If you control 2 or more, I knew it was green. I just wanted to make sure that it was doing the same thing as the other lands before I made that claim. So yes, if you control 2 or more other lands, then it enters tapped. You can tap it for green mana. You can pay X and 1 green mana until end of turn. Lair of the Hydra becomes an XX green Hydra creature. It's still a land, and X can't be 0. And we have Clattering Skeletons in the foil treatment of the rulebook art. It's kind of cool looking. Actually, I kind of like this one. I don't know why the foils look so good on this alternate frame, but because they're generally not that aesthetically pleasing. And a Parallel Evolution from the list. For each creature token in play, its controller puts a creature token into play that's a copy of that creature. That's a fun one. All right, so for Dungeons and Dragons, just gonna do a quick little pass through and make sure I didn't see any caps in the chat grabbing my attention. So I did miss a Gnome Wizard though, our Clover Conjurer, but I don't think I missed any dragons, and I didn't miss any dungeons for sure. So right now, 2 of our paladins are dragons. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're at 10. So we have a total of 10 Dungeons and Dragons so far. So if you want to win the Ampersand contest, can make an educated guess now about where we'll end up at the end of the box. And I'm going to open the next pack. Dragon Turtle. Yeah, okay, I'll go find the Dragon Turtles now. You're right. We had 2 Dragon Turtles? I thought we only had... We'll find out in a second. I don't need to fight anyone. I can just find the answer. All right. Do. Not there. Oh, it's a rare, so it might be in this pile. Dragon Turtle. I'm pretty sure we only opened 1 Dragon Turtle. Myself, in my sealed event earlier, I opened 2 Dragon Turtles, but tonight in Paper Magic, I believe I only opened 1, but I'm open to being wrong. Just found a hidden rare land. I like to keep all my rares together. Can you hear this? Is it nice ASMR for you? Nope, that's it. Just 1 Dragon Turtle. So bring it up to 11. And now you can make your final guesses. Thanks for that, Mondo Fishy. And let's see the rest of this. We've got a Roper. Oh god, they're so gross. Yeah, just not one of my favorite monsters in the manual. Swamp. Got another Blink Dog. Charmed Sleep. Shortcut Seeker. Yuan-Ti Fangblade, I played that one today a lot. Ingenious Smith is neat. Oh, so, okay, here we go. Hang on. We're missing some classes when I go through it fast. So we've got a Rogue. We've got a Rogue, our Yuan-Ti Rogue. And our Human Rogue. We've got a Human Artificer. This is our first Artificer. Okay. Plate Armor. Brunor Battlehammer, who is our red-white sort of archetype symbol here in Uncommon. Each creature you control gets +2/+0 for each equipment attached to it. You may pay 0 rather than pay the equip cost of the first equip ability you activate each turn. Well, that's fun. We already knew we were playing equipment, a lot of equipment in Boros in this set, but this is, yeah, a nice boost to that. We've got a Jaded Sellsword, another dragon. We've got Power of Persuasion. And Lolth, Spider Queen. Oh, I'm very happy to see Lolth. I really love Lolth, and I use her a lot in the campaign that I DM. And I was very excited to see that she would be a planeswalker in this set. So she has a static ability. Whenever a creature you control dies, you put a loyalty counter on Lolth, Spider Queen. Oh, did I miss an Artificer? No, I didn't. It's old. Okay, sorry. So Lolth, Spider Queen has no plus abilities. So you want your creatures to be dying if you want to keep Lolth on the battlefield. You can pay 0 to draw a card and lose 1 life. You can remove 3 counters to create 2/1 black spider creature tokens with Menace and Reach. And her alt is -8 to get an emblem with whenever an opponent is dealt combat damage by 1 or more creatures you control, if that player lost less than 8 life this turn, they lose life equal to the difference. So she's got 8 legs, and we always want to make sure that our opponents are losing at least 8 life on their turns, in honor of our, our beautiful and evil goddess Lolth. We have a Dueling Rapier, who I think Marcy, who works at Rain City Games, was excited about. And a Stone Giant from the list. Let me move this over so Artificer gets her up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we've got, you know what, we've got 11 out of, oh no, Fighter is represented. So which one are we missing? Sorcerer? Yeah, Sorcerer. We haven't seen a Sorcerer yet. Because we do have some, now that we have the Fighter class, we've got some Fighter representation, but haven't seen any Sorcerers. We've got a Ghoul. Oh, that's our art card, so let's take a look. Basic Forest. Dire Wolf Prowler with the rulebook art. Thieves' Tools. Horde Robber. When it deals combat damage, you get a treasure. Hired Hexblade. You want to use a treasure token to cast it, and if you do, then you draw a card and you lose 1 life. So that's a good connection between those. Actually, 3. Treasure, treasure, treasure. Choose your weapon. 2-weapon fighting or archery are your choices on this one. So you can double target creature's power and toughness until end of turn, or deal 5 damage to target creature with flying. A black dragon. There's a dragon for our pile. When it enters the battlefield, it's got acid breath, and target creature and opponent controls gets -3/-3 until end of turn. And a white dragon with cold breath. When white dragon enters the battlefield, tap target creature and opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. I missed a rogue and a warlock. I will go back. Dragon, dragon, bullet, red dragon. This is a dragon heavy pack. We've got 3 in this one. 3 of our chromatic dragons. We've seen the red dragon before though, so. We have a werewolf pack leader. Who's a human werewolf with pack tactics, of course. Whenever werewolf pack leader attacks, if you attacked with creatures with total power 6 or greater, so that's the pack tactic condition, then his trigger is to, or her trigger is to draw a card. And until you can pay 4, and until end of turn, werewolf pack leader has base power and toughness 5/3 instead of 3/3, gains trample, and isn't a human. Very cool. Got a foil hired hexblade, that's a warlock. And what is the list? Is our ad, and we got a treasure token. Right, I was so excited to see cards that I got to play earlier that I didn't pay attention to their classes, so thanks for shouting out to me. That's a tiefling rogue in our horde robber, and an elf warlock in our hired hexblade. And now they are where they belong, and we'll move on to the next pack. Dragon, dragon, dragon. Sorry. We've got an art card. This looks like a land. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, it is. Den of the Bugbear. It's the art for the Den of the Bugbear. Sorry. To make the camera go crazy for a second there. All right. Mountain. Arborea Pegasus. We've got a Mimic. We've got a Grim Bounty. Devour Intellect. Look at this horrible little brain creature who feeds on your brains. Dragon's Disciple. Human Monk. Temple of the Dragon Queen. A green dragon, which we haven't seen yet, I don't think. When it enters the battlefield, until end of turn, whenever a creature an opponent controls is dealt damage, destroy it. Plate armor. Trelasara, Moon Dancer, is an elf cleric. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on Trelasara, Moon Dancer, and Scry 1. And this is, again, Selesnya is doing what Selesnya likes to do, which is get counters and gain life. And that's a cleric. Where's our little cleric pile? Down here. We've got a Dancing Sword, famous magic item. Equipped creature gets +2/+1. And when equipped creature dies, you may have Dancing Sword become a 2/1 construct artifact creature with flying and ward 1. If you do, it isn't an equipment. And foil leather armor, which gives +0/+1 and ward 1. And equip cost is 0, which is kind of fun because it's like the most basic armor in D&D. And we've got a zombie token. I think that is a full set of Chromatic Dragons, Slime Raimu. And we've got, I don't think we got a Tiamat. We got Monk class. Yeah. That's what's missing. Is there no Sorcerer? You know what? I know there's 12 classes, but anyway, I'll go through and grab Monks, because I'm sure people guessed Monks as well. But yeah, I think now I'm unsure and I want to go back through my rares and mythics here. Not mine. These are not for me, as I have said before. These are for Rain City Games, and for you if you choose to purchase them as singles from our store. You'll be able to pre-order them. Just kind of remember, watch the website. They'll be up sometime between now and Saturday, I'm going to say. And you'll be able to pre-order them and then pick them up next Friday. Yeah, we got a Tiamat art card, but no Tiamat yet. But we do have a full set, I believe, of Chromatic Dragons. Yes, we do. There they are. But maybe that's foreshadowing. Maybe Tiamat is yet to come. All right, let's see what's in this pack. We have an adult gold dragon art. Oh, that's right. We did get some metallic dragons. I said we didn't get any metallic dragons except for the platinum dragon, but I was wrong. That's beautiful. Gold dragon flying over the Shuswap. Shuswap. Island. We've got a Ginny Windseer, Shambling Ghast, Deadly Dispute, Sepulchre Ghoul, Wandering Troubadour. This is a dragon and a bard. I think I'm gonna put the dragons into the dragon pile and then take out the ones that are also that also fit into the multi-class contest. And I'll just count the dragons and dungeons first for ampersand at the end, and then move those into their class piles. You happen on a glade. Do you journey on or make camp? An Intrepid Outlander again. We've seen this Orc Ranger before. You find the villain's lair. Choose one. Foil their scheme or learn their secrets. You get to counter or draw. And you're ambushed on the road. Choose one. Make a retreat or stand and fight. These story cards are so good. Okay, here's the answer to my question. There is a sorcerer class, and we've just pulled it. So when sorcerer class enters the battlefield, you draw 2 cards and then discard 2 cards. At level 2, creatures you control have tap to add blue or red mana. Spend this mana only to cast an instant or sorcery spell or to gain a class level. And at level 3, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, that spell deals damage to each opponent equal to the number of instant and sorcery spells you've cast this turn. Wowie. Alright, so that's our first sorcerer. And I will go back and grab those monks. Thanks for pointing that out. Who was it? Glucifer, thank you. I shouldn't have missed the monks. My main characters right now is a monk. I should remember. We've got another rogue, it's a foil, and Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Goes to our ampersand count, and our rogue goes to our rogue pile, which is getting pretty thick. All right. Some sort of Hydra here. Lair of the Hydra art, good. Got a Plains. Rulebook, Underdark Basilisk. Price of Loyalty, Unexpected Windfall, Improvised Weaponry. You see a pair of goblins. Charge them or befriend them. Battlecry Goblin. Did I miss a... No, they're all instants and sorceries. We're good. Lots of red in this pack. We've got a Goblin Morningstar. Just equipment. Come on. Kick in the Door. Another Bag of Holding. And our, I think, second... Nope, this is our first module, Alt-Art module card. That's an uncommon. And this is Dungeon Descent, which is a land that enters the battlefield tapped. You may tap it to add 1 colorless mana, and you can pay 4 and tap it, and tap an untapped legendary creature you control to venture into the dungeon only as a sorcery. So that's kind of neat. A land that allows you to venture into dungeons. And yeah, you can see what I mean maybe about the art being like, I don't know, I feel like this art fits more into like what they've been doing with Secret Lairs recently. But it's definitely a new direction, and I kind of like it. It's weird to see this art up against other like traditional, well, new modern traditional Magic cards, but I like it. And we've got a foil rare Ranger class, which I think we opened a Ranger class earlier too, so... Oh no, we didn't, because I don't recognize this. When Ranger class enters the battlefield, you get a 2/2 green wolf creature token. Sorry, it's wobbling. Whenever you attack, put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature, that's level 2. And at level 3, you may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast creature spells from the top of your library. So that's pretty fun in a mono green deck, or in any green deck. Yeah, it's definitely a departure from what we have seen before. And here's the last dungeon. So only 3 dungeons so far in Magic. There are 3 different dungeons released in this set. We've seen the Dungeon of the Mad Mage and Phandelver's dungeon, but this is the Tomb of Annihilation. The trapped entry, each player loses 1 life. Then you choose either the Oubliette, where you discard a card and sacrifice an artifact, a creature, and a land, or you go through Veils of Fear, where each player loses 2 life unless they discard a card, and Sandfall Cell, where each player loses 2 life unless they sacrifice an artifact, a creature, or a land. And enter the Cradle of the Death God, where you create Atropal, a legendary 4/4 black god horror creature token with Death Touch, which I think I just saw a glimpse of when I opened this pack. Yes! The token is conveniently on the back of the dungeon. So that's very cool. And that's a dungeon for our dungeon pile. Have people been, I know some people in the chat have been playing Arena. I've been playing it just today. I really love the drama of a pre-release. I love that it's like an event. And so I wanted to be able to play it before we did the stream, so I decided it was okay for me to play earlier than the pre-release. But if other people have been playing, I'm curious to know what you think of the new mechanics, or whether there's something that you really like or think is weird Ooh, art card for our rulebook owlbear. Island. Purple worm rulebook art. Paladin's shield. +2 mace. Dwarfhold champion. Now I feel like I'm kind of regretting this fighter business, because the warriors clearly are the fighters. I've seen lots of warriors and I haven't seen fighter in the names yet. So I don't know. I'm gonna let Andrea decide. Andrea's chatting for Rain City Games, so I'm gonna say, Andrea, if you think warriors should be counted as fighters, then I will add warriors to the stack. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 packs left for the Na Baron who just asked. But yeah, Andrea, I'm going to let you decide whether warriors are going to be fighters or not. And for now, I'll put that in the fighter pile. And I'll take it out if we decide that it should not be. We've got another Kalane, the half-elf bard. Skullport Merchant, Boots of Speed, Veteran Dungeoneer, an adult gold dragon. This is the alt art borderless version. So we got to see, luckily, we got to see the art for the standard adult gold dragon on our art card. All right, warriors are fighters. So I will grab the warriors from the stack at the end here. But here is the alt art gold dragon. I think it's beautiful. Big fan. 4/3 flyer with flying life with lifelink and haste. Just keeping it simple and good. Ray of Frost and another dungeon. And everyone who guessed fighter would be part of the top of the multi-class has Andrea to thank for that. Art for Fly, that aura. We've got a foil island, another rulebook clattering skeletons, leather armor, great axe, armory veteran, who's going to be a fighter for us. And in that case, all knights are paladins now, so they will also go into that pile, because those are the two that I had to make exceptions for off the top. Citizen, that's a warlock. Goblin Morningstar. We've got a Den of the Bugbear, which I think we got one of before, but anyway, it's the same as the other monocolor lands. This land becomes a 3/2 red goblin creature that when it attacks, you create another 1/1 red goblin creature token that's tapped and attacking. A Minion of the Mighty, who summons our dragons. A Cloister Gargoyle, which we saw the rulebook art for. And a Lolth emblem. Only one person has fighters in the mix. Well, one person will be happy. Barbarians got... Yeah, didn't barbarians already have their own creature type? Did I do something wrong? What did I miss? You know what? I'll find it at the end, because we should be powering through these. This is a mountain, followed by a mountain. Rulebook Bullet. Boots of Speed, Dueling Rapier, Hobgoblin Captain, which is a barbarian, which I do have a pile for around here somewhere. There we go. Another Hamapashar, Ruin Seeker. Is another wizard for our wizard collection. Eccentric Apprentice, another tiefling wizard. Shambling Guest, Circle of the Moon Druid, which is I think the newest Druid Circle. That was released. Oh no, wait, is that Circle? No, that's Circle of Spores. I'm confused because I like the moon and I like mushrooms. So Circle of the Moon Druid is going to our Druid pile. Oswald Fiddlebender, Gnome Artificer, has magical tinkering. You can pay 1 white mana and tap him to sacrifice an artifact. To search your library for an artifact card with mana value equal to 1 plus the sacrificed artifact's mana value. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle, activate only as a sorcery. Which is fun because then you can even use treasure to get an artifact that's only 1 to cost. Add to the Artificer pile. Shesra, Death's Whisper, is our Golgari little archetype, legendary uncommon. Bewitching Whispers. Actually, I think we saw Shesra early on. Did we not? I think we did. We'll find out when I count the ones later. Here's the fairy dragon that comes with that little Feywild warlock that we saw earlier. Yeah, that's right. That's what I was like, I don't remember seeing this card, but I remember reading these words. The very first card was a Shesra. Thanks for paying attention, folks. Oh yeah, use treasure, get a soul ring. That's the right way to use that Artificer. Oh, the Ginny Windseer rulebook art is our next art card. Got a Plains. Here's Gretchen, the Halfling Druid, who lets us put a land into play. Goblin Javelineer, that's a fighter. Tiefling Bard, that's a bard. And Ranger class is our rare. And we have a dungeon map, this time a foil. Oh, Ranger class goes in Ranger, not Druid. And another minigame. I'm trying to think whether there's anything that I was very excited about that we haven't seen. I'm very excited that we pulled Lolth. Very excited to see Zariel. I mean, it's always fun to get a Planeswalker or two in a box, but I'm generally not as excited about playing them. But the flavor in this set and the characters being characters that I know from D&D has made them more exciting for me to pull. I'd love to see a Tiamat, but we'll see. Vampire Spawn, Spiring Bard, that's a bard. Human Druid, Sylvan Shepherd is a human druid, sorry. Barrowan of Clan Undur, their cleric. Zombie. We've got a Tiefling cleric, the Death Priest of Mirkul. Oops, sorry, I try not to do that, but the card slipped. Priest of Ancient Lore is a cleric for us. This is a cleric heavy pack. Got Hunter's Mark. Oh, I see. So I just need to say what I want to pull and then open a pack and it will be there because here's Tiamat. Very exciting. 7/7 flyer, 7 to cast, 1 of each color and 2 colorless. When she enters the battlefield, if you cast it, search your library for up to 5 dragon cards not named Tiamat that each have different names. Reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle. And look at that. Just, I'm very happy to have seen Lolth and Tiamat. I was hoping for more gods in this set, if I'm honest. So I love the pantheon of the worlds of Dungeons and Dragons. But yeah, very exciting to see. Yeah, Tiamat is the most expensive single in the set right now. And we always see, yeah, I would love to pull a Bahamut. So yeah, Tiamat is the most financially valuable card in the set at the moment. But as we know very well, there's lots of fluctuation in the early days of a new set. Scryfall gives this printing of it, they estimate it around $45 US. So yeah, that checks out. So very cool. Tia should get a Tiamat playmat so she can say, this is Tia's Tiamat mat. Yes, she should. You're right. I'm going to make a note of that. You're right, Crimixazara. I like it. I do like a flashy playmat, you know? She's a dragon, so she should go in the dragon pile. Yeah, I like to show off my loyalties and my taste. My playmat. Unfortunately, I'm covering up my beautiful Rain City Games playmat right now, which, if you missed the beginning of the stream, if you're in our loyalty program, we recently added some new rewards to it. So if you're pre-ordering with us, make sure you sign up for our loyalty program. This playmat, the Rain City Games playmat, is available as an item that you can redeem points for, and so are our new oversized metal D20s, where the 20 is like our logo. And there's, I think, a bluey option and a greeny option, and they're very cool. All right, Dragon Turtle Island. Here's a beholder. Ooh, that's the one, Xanathar. That is a card that we haven't pulled yet. I hope we do, so you can see it. That card, playing against it, is just like being in combat with a beholder. It is infuriating. So anyway, here's a Baleful Beholder. Not quite as oppressive as Xanathar is, but still very flavorful. They went big flavor on the Baleful Beholder. When it enters the battlefield, you choose one, Anti-Magic Cone, where each opponent sacks an enchantment, or Fear Ray, where creatures you control gain menace until end of turn. So, like, it's 6 to cast, 6/5, and these are good abilities, but they really, like, leaned into the flavor of a Beholder on this one, and I like that. All right. Gnoll Camp, we got another Gnoll Hunter. Here's a monk. This is a half-elf monk. And going into a monk pile. Power Word Kill. Shesra. This is our third Shesra of the box, I think, so far. The Warlock class. Okay, I'm excited to see this. I haven't read this one yet. 1 black mana to cast. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, each opponent loses 1 life. Great. Goes great with Wolf. Level 2, when this class becomes level 2, look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Okay, good, standard, nice thing to happen. And at level 3, costs 7, so this better be good. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses life equal to the life they lost this turn. Yeah, I'd say it's good. I like this one, which I, expected to, because that's my class. Yes, Xanathar is extremely oppressive. It can look at the top card of your library and lets its controller cast those cards using mana of any color, and you can't cast cards on their turn. And I played against someone who had a lot of mana to spend, and so I was pretty much just drawing basic lands on my turn and then not doing anything. So it's a powerful card, and I expect people to be building around it in Commander, and I expect not to be friends with them. All right. Tasha's Hideous Laughter! Someone called this out earlier in the chat that they were excited to see it. At 3 to cast sorcery, each opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until that player has exiled cards with total mana value 20 or more, which is hilarious. So, very nice flavor on this. There we go. Yes, it was you, right? The Teemo? I'll put them here. And we've got the Cleric class. If you would gain life, you gain that much life +1 instead. At level 2, whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. And at level 3, when it becomes level 3, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield and gain life equal to its toughness. This is the foil Cleric class. It's added to our Cleric pile. And we've got another Spider token, the 2/1 Menace Reach. That was the first one. That was the first card. Oh, no, it wasn't. I just saw it first because I opened the pack. But that was the token in our first pack. Blink Dog. Oh, this looks great. Just the stat block side of this card looks really nice. And we've got beautiful art of a good boy who looks like he needs to eat something, actually. Can we see his ribs there? Or her ribs? Someone needs to feed their Blink Dog. Planes. We've got a, ooh, this is neat. First time seeing the rulebook art for the Displacer Beast, which we've seen a couple times in the standard art. I might prefer this one, actually, for the Displacer Beast. You find a cursed idol. Choose one. Smash it, lift the curse, or steal its eyes. Silver Raven, Plundering Barbarian, Raven Feeblement, Monk of the Open Hand, that's a monk. Rally Maneuver, Price of Loyalty, Bruner Battlehammer, he's a fighter now, we've decided. Warriors are fighters and knights are paladins. See, it's annoying because the paladins seem to mostly have paladin in their name, but the fighters don't, so live and learn. All right, the Forsworn Paladin is a 1 to cast rare 1/1 with Menace. You can pay 2 and tap it to pay 1 life and pay 1 life to create a treasure token, or you can pay 3 to give target creature +2/+0 until end of turn. If mana from a treasure was spent to activate this ability, that creature also gains Death Touch until end of turn. Critical hit. And we've got a Goblin Lore from the list. Oh, you can't... So, sorry, I've been trying hard to make sure that it's focused when I'm highlighting a card. It's really hard for me to have the camera focused when I'm moving a card away because the movement attracts it. So I'm doing my best, and I will try to do a little bit better on these last 3 packs so that you get to see everything clearly. Sorry about that, Sia model. It's, yeah, we have learned that it doesn't like to stay in focus, really, but it's because I'm constantly moving towards and away from the camera with these, as I open these packs. There's our Basilisk art card. Oh no! This pile's getting a bit unruly for me. So, these classes, man, this is a lot. All right. I hope you like it, because there's a lot happening on my playmat down here. So we got a Swamp, Celestial Unicorn, Circle of the Moon Druid, and I just am accepting that we're not going to have focus while I'm sort of going quickly through commons and uncommons. You hear something on watch. Choose one. Rouse the party or set off traps. There we go. Another Direwolf Prowler. Lurking Roper, Trelasara Moondancer, who we've seen before, and another Cleric class. You see a guard approach. Choose one. Distract the guard or hide. A Wandering Troubadour, who is a dragon and a bard. Putting in the dragon pile. I'll move it to the bard pile after that. And a treasure chest. Okay, so here's our treasure chest. Which was brought up earlier in the chat when I was talking about how there's no true critical fails in the set. So when we are rolling d20s, we're never spending mana and losing a card, you know? We're never going to lose the card. So treasure chest is an artifact that is 3 to cast. Just trying to do manual focus here. There we go. 3 to cast artifact. You can pay 4 and sack a treasure and sack it to roll a d20. If you get a nat 1, you lose 3 life. If you, oh, you know what? Yeah, you kind of are losing it, but you're trapped. It was trapped. If you roll 2 to 9, you get 5 treasure tokens. So it's kind of a gambling card here. And if you roll 10 to 19, you gain 3 life and draw 3 cards. And if you roll a natural 20, you search your library for a card. If it's an artifact card, you may put it onto the battlefield. Otherwise, put that card into your hand and then shuffle. The only way, yeah. Oh, yeah. So the only way you're losing is on that nat 1, but I think that's... There's so much else happening, but it's... It would be a pity to roll that nat 1, but everything else is so good that it might be worth the risk. Ranger's Hook, and we've got a Tomb of Annihilation. Which, have we seen this one yet? Yes, we have. It's the one with the token. So our dragon pile is getting taller, and our class piles are evening out a little bit. So we'll see where we end up. We've got the stat block for a gnoll, with the art for a gnoll. Got a mountain, Rime Shield Frost Giant. This is pretty cool in the rulebook art. There you go. Evolving Wilds, first one we've seen. That one in the module art is really cool. You come to a river, fight the current, or find a crossing. Baleful Beholder, that's the real art, or the, the standard art. Moon-Blessed Cleric. It's a cleric for our cleric pile. Demogorgon's Clutches. Has anyone ever encountered a Demogorgon in a D&D campaign? I have only seen the Stranger Things kids encounter Demogorgons in a D&D campaign. But that's an interesting... The random generator tables comment, sorry, distracted me. That's an interesting thought. I mean, we do get a little bit of like chaos in something like a treasure chest, but yeah, missing those random tables largely. But yeah, I'm curious to know if anyone's actually ever encountered a Demogorgon in a campaign. I have not. Divine Smite. Got a Gloomstalker, a Dwarf Ranger. Plundering Barbarian, who will smash the chest or pry it open. Demi-Lich. So this is 4 blue mana to cast, and it costs, we get actually a discount on colored mana here. So this spell costs 1 blue mana less to cast for each instant and sorcery spell you've cast this turn. Whenever Demi-Lich attacks, exile up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard, copy it, and you may cast the copy. You may cast Demi-Lich from your graveyard by exiling 4 instant and or sorcery cards from your graveyard in addition to paying its other costs. So it's the Lich that keeps on giving, and this is another one of the more valuable, more pricier cards in the set. Demi-Lich. I think our 3rd or 4th mythic, maybe 5th even. We have a Rime Shield Frost Giant in foil and another Dungeon of the Mad Mage. All right, this is the last pack. I would like to see Xanathar so I can show you how horrible he is. He is a wizard, you're right. He goes into the wizard pile. Thank you, Kuver81. And again, I'm gonna really, it does help when you call that stuff out in the chat. Thank you. And I also will double check these things once we get through this pack, which will certainly have Xanathar in it. All right. Rime Giant is a warrior, that's right. Earlier it was not being placed in a, we've opened a few of them, and that was before we decided that warriors were fighters. Thank you, Timo. Oh, okay. I'll say I'll be happy with the Grandmaster of Flowers or Xanathar, okay? Now maybe we'll get both. So for our art card, we've got a Veteran Dungeoneer. We've got a Foil Plains, which is a good sign to me at the top of a pack. Cridle of Baldur's Gate, the Monster Manual art, the rulebook art. Where are my rogues? There we go. Eyes of the Beholder, haha. Target creature gets -11/-11 until end of turn. In the end, there was nothing beautiful to be seen. 6 to cast instant. Arborea Pegasus. We've got another Plummet. There's that Drider. So whenever Drider deals combat damage to a player, create a 2/1 black spider creature token with Menace and Reach. Maybe I'll build a Lolth deck. Oh yeah, that's right. -1/-1 for each of its eyes and eye stalks. Thanks, Lime Raimu. So yeah, I totally forgot how many eyes a beholder has. There's 10 stalks and 1 big eye, right? So -11/-11 is great. Drider. Reaper's Talisman. Why are we suddenly getting cards that we didn't see in any other pack? Reaper's Talisman. We've got a Lightfoot Rogue. The nat 20 on this is that it gets +3/+0, first strike, and death touch until end of turn, which is fun. Another Eyes of the Beholder. What? Am I losing it? Did we not just open Eyes of the Beholder? There are 2 Eyes of the Beholder in this pack. So that's lucky, right? That's strange, right? I don't think I've seen that really very often at all, to get 2 of the same common or 2 of the same anything in a pack. And yeah, this is the pack that we're seeing stuff for the first time, besides that Pegasus and that Plummet, which we have about 100 of each. Here's Wish, where, yep, I was right, 3 to cast, sorcery. You may play a card you own from outside the game this turn. Yeah, it's gotta be good luck to get 2 of the... Yeah, it depends who's controlling the pack, I guess. Bad luck to be on the receiving end of 2 Eyes of the Beholders. We've got the Paladin class. 1 white mana to cast, and it's one of the rare classes. Spells your opponents cast during your turn cost 1 more to cast. At level 2, creatures you control get +1/+1. And at level 3, whenever you attack, until end of turn, target attacking creature gets +1/+1 for each other attacking creature and gains double strike. Really, whenever you attack? That is pretty good. It's only 5 mana to level up to level 3 on the Paladin class. And to give 1 creature +1/+1 for each other attacking creature and double strike each combat or each time you attack is pretty fun. Wowie. Oh, Foil Plummet. There's our good luck, folks. And Relentless Rats from 10th edition is our list card for the pack. So, yeah, exactly. Right into my Angels deck, Mondo Fishy. I run mono white Angels, and I've got so many cards from the last few sets that are going straight into that deck. All right, so that was the last pack. We got 2 Plummets in that pack. We got 2 Eyes of the Beholders in that pack. So, pretty good. All right, I'm going to go through my pile here and make sure I didn't miss any. I'm going to take out all my warriors and my monks and my knights and place them into my fighter, monk, and paladin piles. So while I'm doing this, it's 9:30, so we opened a whole box and we talked about it and we had a good time. We did some contests. People are getting some prizes. So you can maybe use this time to head over to www.raincity.games. If you pre-order anything from Adventures in the Forgotten Realms right now, or let's say we're going to cut it off at 10, so at 10 p.m. we'll stop accepting the code. If you write in the notes section when you place your pre-order, power word buy, then you will get some treasure from our hoard when you pick up your pre-order. So now would be a good time to do that while I flip through these cards. You can talk among yourselves in the chat. Giant Warrior. Oh yeah, we opened, I don't know, no fewer than a 6-pack of Rime Shield Frost Giants, so I think the fighters and the paladins are about to get a lot of friends. And I'm going to just turn on my music again so it's not awkwardly quiet up here. A 6-pack of Rime Shield Frost Giant sounds like a great summer beer. I agree. And it's gotta be Fuggles and Warlock that does it, right? Are they local? They're BC for sure, I think. Well, they're West Coast for sure. I think they are BC. But they have done a lot putting together a 6-pack of Rhyme Shield Frost Giants. There's a lot of shamans in the set. And they are not, oh, there's warrior. Shamans are not, that's not a class unless you're playing Pathfinder. We're not playing Pathfinder. We're playing Dungeons and Dragons. Well, we're playing Magic. And bringing in Dungeons and Dragons. So I would think a shaman would be close to a druid, but I guess it's good to have variety and be strict about the rules of what's a druid and what's not, and what's a fighter and what's a warrior, and how they're both the same. But a shaman and a druid are different. Lots of gnolls. I don't think I've ever seen so many gnolls in Magic. A dragon or a dungeon. All right. I'll say it's not looking great for artificers, paladins, and sorcerers so far, but we'll see. We do have, at the store for pre-order, we do have pre-release kits. And I don't know about everyone in the chat, but I'm getting my second, I know some of us have already got both our vaccinations. I'm getting my second one tomorrow. I'm excited to start playing paper Magic, playing Magic in person with my friends again. At the store, we're hoping, I think we said end of July, like hopefully August, we'll be able to start small casual events again in person. But I mean, if you've got a kitchen table and you've got some people around that you feel safe with, you're all vaccinated or whatever, you can pick up or pre-order pre-release kits from Rain City Games. You get loyalty points for those, and just start to bring back that tradition of pre-release being an event. I'm so excited to get back to even just casual kind of tournament style play. I miss pre-release events. All right. Oh. Don't want to do anyone dirty. Want to make sure I got all the creatures that belong in piles for your guessing. So, our dragons. Okay. For dungeons and for dragons, we are going to count these together. Or I'll count them out loud anyway with you. Just making sure I didn't miss any dragons or class cards in my rare collection over here, which could be your rare collection if you pre-order the singles when they go up on our website. All right, so for Dungeons and Dragons we have, or for the ampersand, we have 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna put that one aside because it's also a bard. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Ooh! I think our squirrels contest was 24. So we have 25 Dungeons and Dragons in the box. So if you guessed 25, Sorry, the Nah Baron, no prize for you for the ampersand. But if anyone guessed 25, they are going to receive from us 25 loyalty points, which will be added to your loyalty account by us at the store, and you'll be able to redeem for cool stuff. You'll get an Adventures in the Forgotten Realms set booster pack, one foil promo pack from the set, and one regular promo pack from the set. And that is Teemo! Congratulations, the Teemo, on winning the ampersand. Well done. And let me add these warriors to my warrior pile, my fighter pile, and add all these knights to my paladin pile, and these bards to my bard pile. All right. So I'm gonna say, so we have 3 monks. So that's not gonna make it into the top. We have 1 sorcerer. We've got 2 artificers. I'm just gonna turn this music down a little bit in case it's hard to hear me. Barbarians, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 barbarians. Paladins, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paladins. See, trying to judge which piles are kind of the smallest. Here's a bard. Sorry for whoever guessed bardificer as your multi-class. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bards. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 druids. What are you? A ranger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rangers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 clerics. I think I expected wizards to have the most, but they don't appear to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 wizards. I think, you know what, a lot of Magic sets are like pretty wizard heavy, and they've done a good job of sort of spreading around the different creature types and character types in here. So these are the 3 it's kind of between, so let's find out. Rogues have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 rogues. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 fighters. So it's going to be a multi-class with fighters, and let's find out whether it's rogues or warlocks. I think I said 12 rogues. Don't stress, I'll recount if I need to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 warlocks. Okay, 12 warlocks, and let me recount my rogues. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 rogues. So, let's find out if anybody guessed rogue fighter or warlock fighter. And if we had winners in both, then we'll figure something out. I mean, what's the best actual multi-classing situation in these combinations? I do have a rogue fighter, which is, it's nice to get sneak attack as a fighter. So I think that is a good option, but it's always nice to have access to magic. So Warlock Fighter wouldn't be bad either. Glucifer guessed Rogue Fighter. Congratulations, Glucifer. You are the top of the multi-class. And let's see, Glucifer, what you've won. For top of the multi-class, you have won the Buy a Box promo for this box, which is this alt art and extended art Vorpal sword and foil. And you've also won 50 loyalty points, 1 Adventures in the Forgotten Realms set booster pack, 1 of our beautiful Rain City Games oversized metal D20s, and 1 foil promo pack from the set. So yeah, congratulations to all of our winners. I think it was Cam, Timo, and Glucifer. If you placed a pre-order with us tonight, thank you for doing that. You've got 15 minutes left to place a pre-order if you want to take advantage of our Power Word Buy promotion. You can win some treasure for completing that quest. And if you want a prize, you could come in this coming weekend. I recommend waiting until next weekend when we should have received all of our booster packs and promo packs and everything to hand out. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Next week will be a much shorter stream on Wednesday night. We'll be opening a collector booster pack, so 12 collector boosters. And get to see some fun extended art, as well as even more of the rares and mythics and alt arts that we saw tonight. So thanks for joining us and have a good night. Yeah, take care. And we'll be doing more contests on next Wednesday too. So hopefully you'll be around for that. Yeah, thank you. Oh, sorry, I just love to see everybody chatting. All right, I'm gonna sign off and see you around Rain City Games. Bye.